Aujourd'hui, je vais te raconter une histoire en anglais. Écoute bien et laisse les sous-titres français t'aider à suivre. This story began with a message that was never supposed to reach the person who read it. It happened on a quiet Tuesday evening. Emma was at home, sitting on her bed, still wearing the clothes she had worn all day. Her bag was on the floor, one shoe was missing, and her hair was tied up in the lazy kind of bun that appears only after a long day. She was tired, but not physically tired. It was the deeper kind of tired, the kind that makes every little interaction feel heavier than it should. Earlier that day, she had met a guy named Thomas for coffee. It had not been a disaster, but it had definitely not been good. Thomas was polite. He was clean. He had a nice coat. He had kind eyes. On paper, nothing was wrong with him. But in real life, the conversation felt like carrying wet furniture up a staircase. Heavy, slow, and a little painful. Every question Emma asked came back to her with less energy than she had sent out. Every joke she made landed softly on the floor and stayed there. At one point, she had said, "I love old bookstores." And Thomas had replied, very seriously, "Yes, books are important." Books are important. Emma had smiled politely, but inside, something had quietly died. So when she finally got home, she did what people often do after a disappointing date. She opened her phone and texted her best friend Lena. "I survived." Lena replied almost immediately. "Well?" Emma lay back on the bed and started typing. "He's not mean. He's not creepy. He's just so painfully boring." She kept going. "I swear, talking to him felt like doing homework in a waiting room." Then she added one more line. "If he texts me again, I need you to remind me that I deserve better than books are important." She hit send. And then her blood turned cold. Because 1 second later, she looked at the top of the conversation. It did not say Lena. It said Thomas. Emma sat up so fast, she nearly fell off the bed. No. She opened the conversation again. Maybe she had seen it wrong. Maybe she was tired. Maybe the universe was cruel, but not this cruel. It was Thomas. All 3 messages were there, sitting neatly in the chat like little polished knives. Delivered. Not even sending. Not, maybe you still have time. Just delivered. Emma stared at the screen with the wild, helpless expression of someone watching their own life become a problem in real time. Her first instinct was simple. Throw the phone into the sea. Unfortunately, she did not live near the sea. So she did the next logical thing. She called Lena. Pick up. Lena answered on the 3rd ring. "Why do you sound like you've committed a crime?" "Worse," Emma said. "I sent the messages to him." "What do you mean, to him?" "I mean to Thomas. I wrote the whole thing to Thomas. He has everything. The boring part, the homework part, the books are important part, all of it." There was silence on the line. Then Lena made a small sound. "Oh no." It was not a dramatic "oh no." It was worse. It was the sincere one. The kind of "oh no" that confirms the situation is, in fact, terrible. Emma stood up and started pacing in circles. What do I do? Do I block him? Do I move to another country? Do I become a nun? You're not becoming a nun. Fine, then what? Lena was quiet for a moment, which usually meant she was thinking carefully. Okay, First, breathe. Useless. Second, do not send 10 more panicked messages. That will make it worse. Emma looked at the screen. She had already typed, OMG, please ignore that. She deleted it. Third, maybe just wait. Wait. Yes, because whatever you send right now will come from pure panic. Emma hated that Lena was right. So she waited. It was the longest 6 minutes of her week. During those 6 minutes, Emma experienced every possible emotion. Shame. Horror. Regret. Delusion. At one point, she actually thought, maybe he won't understand English. Thomas was British. So, no, that was not going to help. Then her phone buzzed. Thomas. Emma looked at the message like it might explode. Well, that's one way to get honest feedback. Emma stopped moving. She read it again. Well, that's one way to get honest feedback. No anger, no insult, no long speech. Just that. Lena was still on the phone. He answered. What did he say? He said, well, that's one way to get honest feedback. Oh. Neither of them knew what to do with that. It was not warm, but it was not cruel either. It was somehow worse and better at the same time. Because now Emma had to become a real adult. She had to reply. What do I say? She whispered. The truth. Emma sat back down on the bed. She looked at the conversation, took one long breath, and started typing more slowly this time. I'm really sorry. Those messages were meant for my friend, not for you. That doesn't make them less rude, and I know that. I'm sorry. You were kind to me today. I just didn't feel a connection, and I handled it badly. She stared at the message before sending it. It felt calmer than panic, cleaner than excuses. So she sent it. Thomas replied 2 minutes later. I appreciate the apology. Emma swallowed. And for what it's worth, I also didn't think we had much chemistry. What? She kept reading. I was trying very hard to be polite, maybe too hard. Emma blinked. Suddenly, the whole date looked different. Not like a tragedy, not even like a humiliation. Just two tired people sitting across from each other, both trying to force a connection that wasn't there. Still, Thomas wrote, I prefer not to be compared to homework in the future. And to Emma's complete surprise, she laughed too. Not because the situation was comfortable. It absolutely was not. But because the worst had already happened and somehow both of them were still speaking like normal people, which felt almost miraculous. Emma replied one last time. That's fair. And for what it's worth, I'm sure someone out there will really appreciate your thoughts on books. This time, Thomas reacted with a laughing emoji. Just one. It was enough. After that, the conversation ended naturally. No drama, no fight, no fake friendship. Just a small, painful, strangely mature ending. Emma put her phone down and covered her face with both hands. Lena was still on the line. Are you alive? Barely, Emma said. Then she lay back on the bed again and stared at the ceiling for a second time that evening. But now she felt different. Still embarrassed, yes. Still humbled, absolutely. But also a little lighter, because the message had gone to the wrong person. But the honesty had maybe gone to the right one. If she had texted Lena by mistake and hidden everything from Thomas, the evening would have ended with fake politeness and no truth. Instead, there had been an awkward truth, an uncomfortable apology, and a small amount of dignity somehow rescued at the end. Not much dignity, but enough. Later that night, Lena sent her one final message. Next time, maybe double-check the name before you destroy a man. Emma replied, "Next time, maybe I'll just go to therapy." And that was the night Emma learned 3 useful things. First, always check the chat name. Second, panic usually writes worse messages than honesty. And third, books are important is not always enough, especially not on a first date.